Hey, this is your boys at the Daycare Podcast. We are live with your regular hosts, Mr. Nipples and Nick. And we have a guest tonight.
J-Dub.
What's happening, fellas?
Hey.
What's up, man?
Oh, not much. Thanks for having me on. Sitting back, hanging out at the Home 20. Just got off of work and popping open a nice bottle of whiskey. So, down the hatch, boys.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta say, I'm a fan of your show, man. It's
Oh, well, thank you very much. You appreciate it.
You guys put on a good one.
Well, we do our best to over there on BB Nation Radio, man. It's a lot of work, but you know what? It does it serves a serves a purpose. So
one of these days,
took a little bit more of a bite of that bottle than I expected. All good though.
Yeah, one of these days, if Mr. Nipples here ever gets off his tush and gets us onto, iTunes, we'll get to where you are. But
dude, it takes a lot of time and a lot of work, man. I mean, we've been going at it for. I was pretty fortunate though, because I started doing live videos. What was it, back in end of October 2017, and then I was approached in November by some folks over there at Vet Radio Syndicate for hooking up with them and taking my show over there, and then switched over onto the audio side, broadcasting off of Spreaker and whatnot, and did that from January of 18 to April, the following April. And then after that, we went on to Facebook Live as well, and we just moved all our stuff over. So we're broadcasting not just with BB Nation Radio, our flagship show, but it's also, we have now expanded out to 3 other shows on the radio side that we do weekly as well. And those ones are, mostly music. It's kind of like AFN with a 4-drink minimum per se. So, so we got that going. I mean, it's just expanded. It's grown from there in, not even 2 years. So it's been, takes a lot of time and a lot of work, but, if you put forth the effort, you're going to get into it. It's just like your time in. You're going to get out of it what you put into it, and so far it's paying off dividends.
Well, I'll be on the air with you on Friday, if I remember.
Yes, Friday night debauchery.
Yes, that's going to be good stuff.
Oh, it's going to be a good time, man. Make sure you bring your favorite bottle of whiskey. So,
well, I hate to tell you, I've been sober now since 2008. I had an issue.
Oh, and, okay. Too many open bottles. Track it.
Yes. When you start the day out with a fifth and you kill 2 or 3 more during the day, it's time to sober up.
Yep. No, I understand that one completely, buddy. I've been down that road. I went clean, like 100% clean for a while there, but wound up, learning how to control that demon, and since then been all right. So,
yeah, I let myself have a couple of drinks every year. Veterans Day, Memorial Day, a few other certain days during the year. But yeah, otherwise, wife keeps me on. So.
Right.
I generally just drink every podcast.
Don't let him fool you. He's vaping. He's not drinking shit.
Sucking out a robo dick?
I'm a yeah, dude. I sucked that nicotine dick, and I got me a White Claw, man.
Jesus.
The claw's the law in this damn house.
Next thing you know, he's gonna be talking about drinking pumpkin spice coffee from freaking Starbucks or some shit.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with pumpkin spice, my man.
Oh my god.
He's Navy. Leave him alone.
Oh, that explains a lot. I was gonna say freaking wannabe white girl, but now you mentioned that, What are you doing? Taking freaking fruity drinks and straight vanilla vodka shots over there?
Hey, man. We drink Old Fashions and White Claws for the most part.
Oh, you're not going to sit back with a nice Caucasian like the dude?
I don't even know what a Caucasian is. What's even...
Dude, it's a white... have you never seen The Big Lebowski?
It's a White Russian, dude.
Oh, it's a White Russian? All right. Listen here. I'm a youngster, all right?
You're a youngster? How young are you?
I'm 22.
Holy shit, you're just a pup.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do your mommy and daddy know that you play on the radio, son? I swear to God.
He's a fucking E5 at 22.
What?
Yeah.
Jesus. Whose dick did you have to suck? Never mind, I don't want to know.
Man, I'm just good at my job.
He was slobbing the cob. That's what he was doing. I mean,
No, he was playing with the dildos in the bushes.
well, if he was Navy, then
that actually
he's
happened.
slobbing the cob. You slob the cob?
Nah, I found a dick in a bush, man.
And that's what you're sucking on now, that robo dick. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So first off, I don't know if either one of you two are members, but there's this group called Drinking Bros on Facebook. Great guys. Yep. Somebody on there is like, hey, somebody keeps fucking with my, making these bad phone calls on everybody trying to get their dog and cat taken away because she wants her cat to have a neighborhood to herself. So she's asking, well, because I don't remember she or he, but they're asking, for
the pandas away.
They're asking for, fucked up things they could do to this person. And my answers were simply, there's the Vaseline underneath the door handles. You take that JV weld and you glue their fucking windshield wipers down so those fuckers don't move. You hide shrimp up inside their bumper.
You could always punji stick their front doormat. That's a classic prank.
Oh my God.
A prank straight from the Vietnam War.
Fork their front yard, and of course, popcorn in the muffler.
I've never heard of popcorn in the muffler. That sounds hilarious.
Well,
popcorn in the muffler? I've heard
you can't do it with shotgun shells anymore. You get in trouble for shotgun shells now.
Yeah, that's you don't really want to do that. Now, potatoes in the freaking exhaust pipe. I've heard of that one.
Oh yeah.
I may have been accused of that one once or twice, but
duct tape around the muffler works really well because then they think their car's on fire.
Oh, right. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do. I mean, it's dude.
And if their car's unlocked, you get in there and you put shrimp up inside their dash.
No. Very, very. There's one very easy thing to do. Like if they have like an older style car, while I'm talking older style, something that's not brand new, to where stuff on the engine is actually accessible. Aside from underneath a freaking piece of plastic that they like to cover them with. What you do is if they leave their car unlocked, you pop the hood, and all you do is you just reach down and pop the one freaking that ignition coil plug.
Oh shit! Yeah.
You just pop that, and that's all you got to pop it, close the hood, and walk away because they will sit there for days. Everything else in the vehicle will come on. All the lights and all the dinghies and everything else. They'll be like, okay, cool. They go to turn it on, nothing, just dead car.
Shit.
And what the fuck? And they will sit there and they will look at everything else under the damn hood, trying to figure out what's going on. They will call in a freaking mechanic, hook up the computer and everything else. Try to figure it out for days, and then somebody that actually has a half-ass idea of what they're looking at will go, oh, this is your problem. Plug it in, fire them up. Hey, guess what? You just got charged $150 for an hour for a 2-second job.
And they're probably going to pay for a tow to get it to a shop. So
exactly.
So Mick Fucker's on the crew, and he's one of the babysitters here, and he moved back from North Carolina, South Carolina, I don't know, somewhere fucking up there, back down to Texas again. Well, he left his Mustang up in Timbuktu there.
Ooh, ouch.
Well, he got it shipped back.
Okay.
The asshole's house who was sitting out there for 2 weeks decided to take it out for a joyride and throw it into reverse while they were going down the highway.
What the fuck?
Yep, his tranny shot to shit.
Yeah, I would say so.
And that thing was set up for racing, so yeah.
Yeah, that thing is. Yeah. It's funny because the buddy of mine always had this saying: you always stop when it sounds expensive, and that would be a very quick stop and a very expensive one too.
Yeah, he got it back down and went to start it up, and it won't catch gear. It won't do nothing. It starts up, but that's about the extent of it.
Sounds like he's having a worse day than Caitlyn Jenner. Talking about blowing trains. Jesus.
Talk about a rattling tranny.
Yeah, right.
She's gonna be a mom again at 70
I was gonna say, dude,
old.
did you hear about that? 70 years old, and Shim is gonna be a freaking parent again. It's like what? And the funny thing is about it.
Is she having her own kids?
That's a good question. Because
No,
the thing about it
they're
is that
adopting.
I was gonna say because the person that Caitlyn Jenner is with is also a tranny, is a
Yep.
male gone female. So
28 or 29 years old.
That's
yeah,
an absolute fucking blunder.
that is. It's
That's
just
hard to
like, so
follow.
are you actually lesbian or actually gay? Because you both used to have a dick, but now these are just the things that make you go, huh? It just makes you really sit back and wonder.
Maybe he was just she or shit. Yeah, I guess shit's the word. I don't know. I guess it's just gay all along.
A what?
I guess they're just gay all along, because they're going back to it now. Like,
I don't know.
I don't know, man. This stuff's getting too deep.
That is getting deep. I mean, somebody is going to be all about it. There's what the. Never mind. So now I got an email on my phone for my regular 9 to 5 job, and they're like, "Oh, fire alarm at work." Okay.
Good for you.
I'm home right now. Don't know what to tell you. I'm drinking whiskey at home. Fuck you guys. You do what you got to do.
Well, I've been out.
Burn it all to the ground. I don't care. Fuck it.
I had gotten my 214 about 1.5 years before I got a fucking message on my phone telling me that I was late for CQ.
Obviously, your admin NCO was a freaking retard and forgot to take your name off the Alpha roster.
Well, the unit was back from deployment, but I think there was a brand new LT in front of all of it, in charge of all of it, and fucking who knows.
Oh,
There you go, dummy. Fucking, we were at duty stations, or they were at duty stations. I was home on leave because I submitted leave forever ago. It was Christmas leave. And I get a call at like 7 a.m. And I woke up, took the call, and they're like, "Where are you at, Shepard?" And I'm like, "Fucking North Carolina. What the fuck do you need?" And they're like, "It's duty station day. Why are you in North Carolina?" And I'm just like, "Because I'm on leave." Who approved your leave? You. What the fuck?
Oh my god! You do realize that somewhere in this chain of succession here, you have to sign off on this, right? Before it goes to S1?
I handed it to you like 3 days ago.
Oh my god.
Guess we'll have to replace your watch. Well, yeah. I'm not driving 9 hours to come stand a watch. The fuck?
Oh my fuck.
Oh.
That's brilliant. That is a shining moment of brilliance. I'm telling you.
Shit.
I love how efficient chain of commands are.
So I'll be honest with you. In my close to 21 years I spent in, you find some that, even as a private, you find some that are really good, or you find some that are just shit. Granted, most of the time you're going to find ones that are shit, but every so often you get one. You move around duty stations enough, and you move to different units enough, you're going to find one that's actually pretty legit. And I can honestly say the last one I was with, I retired from, they were actually pretty legit. The only reason I retired when I did, I actually, 2 years ago, I actually did a 6-year extension on my enlistment. So I was going to shoot for the 25 and was on track for making 7. And then the Army wound up deciding, in its infinite wisdom, saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're going to change up the NCO education system again and the requirements for it and yada yada yada." So it wound up setting me back by another 3 years for my career progression. And I was like, "Nope, I'm done. Fuck you guys, I'm out." 20 years later, cash that shit in. Bam, done. I'm out.
Yo.
Wasn't even fucking around. So they're like, "Well, why you retired, Sergeant King?" Let's think about this one for a second, guys. Let's think about this one real close. And yeah, my readiness NCO was just like, "Okay, yeah, I get it. He's like, "I don't blame you." Well, no shit. That's why I'm doing it, buddy. He's like, "Getting hosed like that? I don't blame you." So, see you, motherfuckers. So February 1st, I was officially done. So,
don't blame me at all.
Yeah, but the nice thing about it lets me focus more on, running my media business as well as my regular job and shit, and being able to not have to worry about putting on the uniform every so often now. So, because I did about 8 years active duty and got out and did the rest of it guard. I know a lot of people like to talk shit about the guard, but you know what, dude? It's its own world.
Yeah, I'm in reserves right now, and my God, the amount of so in active, administration handles most of your shit, but you go reserves, you got to handle so much administrative work, and you just kind of got to know what to do, or you're fucked.
Yeah, exactly. You take care of you. I mean, granted, your chain of command has to take care of you to a certain extent as well. And they got full-timers for that, too. They got full-time staff that, active reserve or active guard reserve, whatever you want to call them, all the branch depending. But, you have to... The one thing that a lot of people don't realize is out on the reserve side versus the active side is you ultimately are responsible for your career. Regardless. I mean, even on the active side, you are to a point. But once you hit a certain point, DA take, whatever department you run under, whether it's Department, Navy, Air Force, Army, whatever, they make a lot of the big calls. But on the guard side of the house, oh no, dude, you still got, you still have all your other stuff that you have to take care of on your own. And the thing about it is that, they have some full people that are working, but at the higher level, but at the same time, they have a lot of part-timers too. And if those part-timers that hold those key positions aren't in, guess what? You're SOL, dude. So you have to make the most of it, put forth the time, especially if you're in a leadership position. Oh yeah, that whole weekend a month, 2 weeks during the year shit, that's right out the window, dude, because I can't even count how many nights after work I had to go to the armory and take care of military shit. Even though I wasn't getting paid, I still had to do what I had to do to take care of my troops. And that's the one thing that a lot of guys don't realize. Then you also have schools coming up. You also have to deal with, other training events that, you have a 2-week AT coming up. Well, guess what? You have certain people that you have to send advance party. You have certain people that have to stay rear deck to police things up when the rest of the main body returns back to garrison. And that's the one thing a lot of these active guys that have done nothing but active duty don't seem to get through their heads, that don't seem to understand. I'm not saying one's better than the other. It's just they're two different worlds. They're unique in their own way. And, honestly, I enjoyed my time in the Guard, versus active duty. I mean, granted, I like the active duty paychecks a lot more. Oh, yeah. But because that was consistent money that you can count on unless you fucked up and got, NJP or Article 15. But the rest of the time, hey, that was budget you could count on and stuff. Whereas on the reserve or the guard side, well, guess what? You're having to wait until 10 days, at a minimum, average 7 to 10 days from the time that your last duty is done. Unless it's more than 2 weeks, then they can freaking put it in. You usually get it during that time. But, it's, like I said, it's its own different world. And I enjoyed it. But I hated DTS. Fuck DTS.
DTS is still garbage.
DTS could eat a dick. It could eat that fucking robo dick you're sucking on. As far as I'm concerned. Anyhow, that calls for another shot.
I have an ex right with the Guard, but that's a different story.
You have a what?
I have a problem with the Guard for one reason. There was a family that lived in our back gate at the police national headquarters in Baghdad.
Oh.
And this family was our eyes and ears in town. Mm-hmm. They got us supplies, they did everything. When 2-3 FA rolled out of the police national headquarters to head to Crete, Guard unit took over. And in 3 days, let them... 3 days! They were there for 3 days and let that family get blown up.
Oh, fuck.
They pulled security back far enough that they were no longer protected.
Oh. I don't know what to say on that one, dude. Because, I mean, I can't really... And it's not to be an asshole or anything else like that. It's one of those things where, I don't know the whole backstory, so I can't really comment on that. I mean, you gave me a little bit...
Yeah,
what's that?
Some commanding officer made a judgment call saying it would probably be more secure this way, but...
Yeah, that's probably what it boils down to. And that's the shitty thing about it, is that you have that brasses out there like that. And that brings up another topic, too. You get... I've dealt with some shitty lieutenants. I've dealt with some really awesome lieutenants. And, the shitty lieutenants are the ones that they're the ones that are out trying to give themselves freaking chest candy, whereas the good ones will actually listen to their NCOs and their Joes when it actually comes to doing shit. And, the ones that have that experience and actually will listen and heed to the advice, of their enlisted, soldiers and NCOs. So,
and you have the great ones that are out there kicking in doors with their troops.
Yep, exactly.
We had a colonel that went out there and kicked in doors with us.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So he was, We had, I don't know what it was, but Alpha Battery, we had first sergeants that rotated through literally every 6 to 8 weeks. We had a new first sergeant for about a year.
Oh, damn. The fuck
Don't
was
know
going
why.
on?
No idea. But we finally ended up with the first sergeant that had been in long enough. He had the solid dog tag, not 2 tags.
Nice.
The solid ones. You know,
yeah.
You snap in the middle.
Yep.
Well, he deployed with us, and when he showed up, we got a new colonel, we got a new BC, and somehow everything fell into place, and
the stars magically aligned.
Yep, and then we went to Grafenveer to train to go to Iraq.
What? He said you was Graf?
Yep.
Bro, I spent 4 years being stationed at Graf, and that is not the ideal place to go. And for trade up to Iraq, no, that's.
I jumped out of the
service hair.
I jumped out of the cat, and there was snow up to my waist.
Yep. I'm surprised they didn't send you guys. Might as well just send you all to freaking Homefeld. It's been just as bad.
Oh,
Here,
no, we did.
Jesus Christ. Get out
we
there
did
to
that
box.
about 3 weeks before we went to Graf. We did Homestead.
Oh, fuck. I'm sorry.
You finally get all the shit chiseled out of your road wheels and your equipment clean, and they send you back.
Right? You're just like, come on, man. Yeah, you go spend freaking 3 weeks out in the box of freaking Hohenfels, and then you turn around and go spend freaking another 3 weeks out in doing gunnery at Graf.
Yeah,
that's no fun. I mean, for me, it wasn't bad because, like I said, I was stationed with a Het unit there, and I loved it. It was awesome. While being permanent party, actually being stationed, it was a lot different when I was there compared to what a lot of guys are now. Because when I was there, it was Graf. I think it was a total of I want to say not even 1,000 troops. I mean, total population of Graf was like maybe about 3,000. That's counting dependents and civilian, personnel working on base and everything else. Because the bulk of the people were all over at Vilsec, over across the training area.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Graf, the main post at Graf was just small, dude. And then they wound up breaking ground when I was leaving in 2004. PCS back stateside or to Fort Carson. They were just breaking ground on what used to be freaking hole 9 of the freaking golf course. And they were putting in the big PX right there by the post headquarters. And I was like, well, that's lame. I was like, glad I'm leaving now. Freaking took away my freaking drinking on the weekends. Because that's where we always go. Freaking get the boys together, go play around the golf, and just get sideways.
Well, in Graf, in 01, I had to live in one of the long buildings there for a while, for 45 days. We got sent out there. We got sent out there to pull guard on a tactical vehicle only, no tactical vehicle road.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about, too. Fuck, you were there at the same time I was then.
Yeah, 45 days living in that fucking shack out. Oh, God.
Yeah, you guys were just outside the East Main Gate.
Yep.
Friggin' right down Range Road from the friggin' Het motor pool.
Yeah, tactical vehicle only, no tactical vehicle road. It was took about 10-minute drive down that road, and there's a little shack, and
I know. Oh my God. Yeah, dude, I know exactly where you're at. I actually hit it, dude.
Why the hell didn't they close the gate off?
Fuck, I don't know, dude. I don't know. But the Force Meisters in their infinite wisdom said, no, we're just going to leave that shit open.
Yep.
So, oh no, dude, I actually wound up, okay, so at the time, it's a story, but it's not a very embarrassing one at this point. So, one of the things that I had at the time, I had like a little freaking $500 hoopty because my freaking SUV that I had at the time was broke down. Just took it to the scrapyard. I was pissed because it was my first rig, but it gave up the ghost after bad winter that year. And I wound up picking up this $500 hoopty from another soldier in my unit, and it was a 1989 Ford Fiesta with a freaking 5-speed.
Red?
No, it was white. It was white. Okay. So, and this thing was like the gutless freaking wonder. But I drove that car all over Germany, man. I freaking ran that thing into the freaking ground. Herbie would be like, "No, dude, freaking, you're killing me." But it was so bad because I only had this car for like 3 months in that time, and I was on my way to go visit a friend of mine over in Vilsec, and I was going down Range Road, coming out of the Eastman Gate of Graff, going out to oh God, what was the name of that village? You know the village I'm talking about that's right outside.
Yeah, I do. We actually got lost in that village. Our LT pulled us outside of the trading area. I will tell you about that when we get done with this, yeah.
Oh my God. So anyhow, yeah, right? LT, two letters off of lost. Anyhow. And I wound up hitting, well, you remember seeing the damn boars out there.
Yeah.
Dude, them suckers are fucking monsters. Huge.
We brought those up on the air more than once. Yeah, they'll hit the armored vehicles and they'll fucking rock.
Yeah. Guess what I wound up running into in the middle of the night?
Oh, shit.
That's why I only had that car for 3 months, because that was all the longer it lasted, dude. Freaking on my way to go visit a buddy of mine over in Vilsec, and freaking out of the darkness, coming across Range Road, bam! Didn't even have time to hit the brakes, dude. That freaking almost wound up flipping me and shit. Freaking lost that car. I was like, well, I'm glad I got a case of beer in the back. I'm just gonna sit back now and freaking wait for someone to come tow this thing to the scrapyard.
Hey, look at the bright side. Free sausage.
Dude, well, yeah, to a point. Freaking, they wound up, and this was during the summer too. And the cool thing about with being stationed in Graff is that once a year, the post commander there would put on a barbecue for, folks there that were, for the soldiers and their families that were stationed there at his house. Well, you seen Nick? I think it was, we were talking, You seen the friggin' the water tower and the Forstmeister house and everything else there at Graff. Yeah. The Forstmeister house is a post commander's friggin' quarters. That's where he lives. And so that big barn that's right next to it, that's where they had the roast at. They're like, well, shit, we ain't got to do that, because once a year they give out friggin' the base MWR would work with the local Forstmeisters, and they give out freaking 2 hunting tags and hook them up with a Forstmeister, come out with a gun and be like, all right, we're going to go shoot a hog for this freaking, for this pig roast. And they're like, well, that saves us the freaking money on the tag, so guess what?
Why not?
Exactly. So, no, that led to a good time, at least as far as that goes. But I was pissed at the meantime. I was like, fuck, what do I do? Now I ain't got a car. So, it's the way you go sometimes.
First, I got to tell you this story before I get into the LT and this lost. There's a guy we had on the show a while back, and I won't say his name because, well, everybody knows who it is. But anybody that was in 2-3 or anybody that's been to Grafenveer is going to know. Honesfeld, sorry. It's happened in Honesfeld with Op4. Anybody that's been there will know who it is. He fell asleep on guard when he was pulling guard one night.
Oops.
And he just gotten his 5. And, next morning, BC gets a envelope with a bunch of pictures in it.
Oh, no.
Op4 is up on the hatch with him. No. He's falling asleep on the 50 with a crown wig on and a nose, and every Op4 is posing with him. Yeah.
Good old 1-4 infantry, man.
Op4 clowning on this dude.
Oh, hardcore, dude. They were notorious for stuff like that back then. Oh, my God. Actually, my co-host, over on BB Nation Radio, my buddy John Toll, he's a 12 Bravo. He actually spent some time with 1-4 over in Hohenfels doing Op4 and shit for a while. So, I'll have to I'll have to ask him about this one, see if he knew who the guy was.
All right. Shit, there was something else oh well. But yeah, that was
Was it the boars?
Yeah. Oh, that's a different story. That happened in Grafenwehr. So my Sergeant Butler was, he had the old CVCs and he had the butt flap ones.
Yeah.
About 2:00 in the morning, he decided he had to go use the bush.
Okay.
Apparently there was a piglet and he tried to pet it. Next thing I know, here he comes running, fucking butt flap open, sprinting to the gun, going, "My God!" And here comes Mama chasing him. He jumps in, closes the back door of the gun, and wham!
Oh yeah, dude, I believe it. Yeah, those sows over there don't fuck around, dude.
They're God damn, those things are huge. They make the ones in Texas look small.
Right, dude. We were sitting there one time, and we were out in the field, and we had a camp set up over next to the Yaha there in Graf. They're they're right off the main tank trail, just before you get to the Yaha. They're closer to Vilsec, and and we got sent out. A group of us got pulled out to go play Op 4 for a scenario. Well, we were supposed to go probe the perimeter and start messing with the OPs, the LPOPs that were out on perimeter.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, it's like 3:00 in the damn morning. We got nods on and everything else. We're creeping through the brush and whatnot. And right before we get about 50 meters from one of the OP points, and all of a sudden you hear one of the guys on my team, he's just like, hey, you guys hear that? And you hear a little bit of rustling off of the brush. You're like, what the hell? And all of a sudden you hear this freaking loud-ass freaking pig squeal. And all of a sudden we're like, oh, shit, freaking boar. Freaking everyone takes off running, dude.
Oh, shit, man.
And the sad thing is we're actually trying to trip each other up so that way somebody had to be the sacrificial lamb.
Oh, shit.
Because we ain't
those things
got
will fucking kill you.
Yeah, you ain't got to run the hog. You got to run freaking everyone else. And you don't want to be the slowest one.
You better know what everyone else's fucking 2-mile time is.
Yeah, you learn real quick who the fast ones are. It comes down to that whole saying, I can run faster scared than what you can mad. Yeah, that's about what it was, too. So.
Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. I was in the cat, right? I had just gotten moved over here from the gun to the cat. And my NCO got his hands on one of those keys for the miles gear for the cat.
Nice.
And I don't know how, but we were in Abram.
What?
So when he turned the key, and we were no longer a cat, we were an Abram.
Well, whoever the OC was did not program that shit correctly, good sir.
So that saved us a lot of problems.
Oh, I imagine it probably did. You're like,
there's incoming rounds.
Invincible.
Yeah, it saved us a lot of shit.
I believe it. RPG, what's that? Dink.
But yeah, we so we're getting ready. We're doing our field prop, getting ready for Iraq, and the LT has to take us on, a road march, and it was our 72. I don't know if you guys were you in Up Armor at all?
No, I was not.
We had to do a 72-hour drive.
Oh,
or no, 48-hour drive. Sorry, 48-hour drive. And
I had to do that.
Yeah, the LT had to do the first part, do part of the day driving and part of the night driving because, it's part of his qualifications, whatever, to command and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And somehow we ended up outside the gate. How he didn't realize it, I don't know. Well, we ended up going through that small town. Now, think about what the tracks on a 109 Alpha 6 do to curbs.
They ruined this poor town.
Yeah, I was going to say there's nothing left.
We took the curbs out. We took fences out. We took signs out. In the process of turning around to get back.
Jesus.
Through the gate. The unit ended up being short, I think it was like $1.5 million in damages.
Ooh. Brutal on that one.
Yeah, well, you tear out the road and you tear out everything. It's a lot to replace.
Yeah, just a touch.
And of course, we had brand new tracks on, or brand new pads on because we were prepping to go. And the newer the pad is, the more damage they do.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yep. Somebody took out some signs and a street light with the tube. So, yeah, it was.
Yeah, they kind of frowned upon tracks rolling outside the gate.
There's a reason for
by
it.
themselves, during that time period. That's for damn show.
Yeah. So, all right. Let me see if I got a good embarrassing story for you. I usually share one. I tell Mr. Nipples here to share one, but he'll always just tell the one about the dildo in the bush.
That one is by far the most entertaining because it is absolutely fucking hilarious.
Oh, by the way, the story I just told you about us getting lost, the LT fucking up, actually caused the meltdown that caused our previous show to get shut down.
Oops.
Because the guy that was in charge of that group was like, well, no, you're belittling officers. No, we're not. We're just talking about a mistake that an officer made. It was funny.
Wow. You're like, besides, freaking, you can't do shit. My DD-214 blanket keeps me warm and safe.
Yeah. Well, he was retired bird and just an idiot.
And then?
That's the problem. He thought we were talking down about officers. No, we weren't.
So if I was talking down about officers, I'd fart, I'd be like, hey, what's that, sir? Keep talking LT, we'll find you.
We had this one LT that nobody respected whatsoever, and everybody called him Mittens.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's just...
We had one. It was 2001. So if you were stationed over in Germany in 2001, you probably remember going to Poland then in the latter part of the year. It's Fifth Corps victory strike exercise that they did that year.
We didn't go up there. We were busy doing other shit.
Oh, dude, you lucked out. That was friggin' 45 days of nothing but straight. Why?
No. We didn't luck out. When everybody else went, we had to cover down and pull guard on everyone's post.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because that was right after literally friggin' the day that everybody was supposed to leave to go to Poland. Yeah, what day was that? 9/11.
We ended up pulling 72-hour guard shifts. No bullshitting.
Yeah, I believe it, dude. I believe it. Trust me.
72-hour on, 8 off.
When that shit happened, when 9/11 went down, and everybody else when we were all supposed to be on buses to leave, the buses got sent away, and everybody got moved down to the company and said, "Guess what? Go into the arms room, put on your full kit, and we're doing patrols." What? And that's how it was for the next friggin' 2.5, almost 3 weeks before they finally said, okay, we can go.
Half my unit was still in Kosovo when that shit happened, so...
Oh, damn.
Yeah, we were pulling a lot of extra guard.
I believe it, man. I believe it. That shit was no joke then. A lot of guys don't understand just how, just how very realistic that shit was when that all went down. It was just like, oh.
C-Rats. Okay.
Oh, Jesus. C-Rats, T-Rats, A-Rats, all out of an MKT.
Yeah, that's what we lived on for a while until the kitchen could figure out how to cover down.
Right. I believe it, man.
Because they had to figure out how to deliver food out to guard posts.
Right. So, yeah, just grab the ration. Oh, I'm surprised they didn't just throw you guys a couple boxes of MREs and be like, here you go, guys.
They did that at first, but then we ran out of MREs.
Oh, shit. And they didn't get a resupply enough?
Then they had to dig further back in and pull out...
MREs, did you even have to eat after that? Because I imagine you didn't shit for weeks.
Oh, no. You drink enough of the coffee, you shit.
Yeah, it will happen. Especially first thing in the morning.
The Army coffee isn't like Navy coffee, where it's all nice and, pretty coffee with creamers and fancy sugars.
That's the Air Force. The galley workers walk out back and just scoop some fucking dirt into the coffee maker.
You can literally, stand your spoon up in this shit, and it's... Well, if you have a plastic spoon, it will melt.
That's how
Right.
that's how the soup is in the Navy.
I was like, come on, man. Haven't you ever seen Down Periscope? I mean, shit.
I fucking love that movie.
Is that why they call you Nitro? Go ahead, sir.
Somebody from MASH just died.
What?
Yeah, one of the actors from MASH just died.
Oh, shit.
Passed away last night. The general.
Oh, no, dude.
96 years old. He passed away last night.
I'll say he had to be old as fuck, though, because, I mean, he was in a lot of movies. He's not just on MASH, but he also was, what was that, Dragnet?
Yep. But he was
back in the day.
He was a fellow vet, too.
Yes, he was.
So,
he was a World War II guy.
Oh, we need you to do us a favor on DB Nation. We've got a memorial wall on the page.
Okay.
And anybody, whether it be suicide, KIA, MIA, natural causes, murdered, pretty much anything. If they served and they got honorable discharge, if they got out, their loved ones can go there, put their name up there, dates, rank, story about them, whatever. And every year on the Saturday before Memorial Day, we read that, or actually, it'll be the Wednesday now before Memorial Day. Or maybe we'll do Saturday. I don't know. It depends on Mr. Nipple's schedule. We will be reading that shit on the air. We read 660 last year.
Oh, wow.
And it's going to we're on track for about 3,000 this year.
Yeah, I'm looking at the are you fapping over there, you sick bastard?
No. I'm tapping my phone because I'm trying to remember all the names that we read.
All I hear is pop, 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 pop. Yep. Like, oh, Jesus Christ, you sick son of a bitch.
You got excited with bringing up the memorial wall.
I guess so.
And there's so many names that we got to add to that, like Ade Murphy and General Patton. And there's so many names I got to put on there. I keep making a longer and longer list, and I haven't posted them.
Yeah, it looks like there's been quite a few that your followers and stuff have been putting on there, too.
Well, we ask, and every time I'm on Drinking Bros and somebody says, so-and-so passed, and I ask them to put it up. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes I put it up. I've got screenshots of a bunch of names I have to put up. We're going to be hitting about 3,000, maybe more this year.
Ah, damn.
But, these people should never be forgotten, and that's the point of it.
Oh, absolutely, brother. I mean, I have more than what I care to in memorial bracelets here at home. And
I get it. I do.
And those guys.
Add the names. Add names, stories, whatever.
Absolutely.
There's some guys from the nuclear cleanup in the Pacific that we read their stories because they were there. And they are some of the most interesting stories you'll ever hear. Oh,
I believe it. It's funny because there's a group of individuals, particularly sailors, and no, there's no homo stories involved there, Nipples, I'm sorry. It's they're the what they call the atomic troops, or the atomic soldiers, or whatever they're called.
That's what we had on.
Oh, really? The guys?
Yeah, we had to clean up. We had cleanup.
Oh my God! The guys that were on those ships and stuff out there where they were doing the atomic bomb testing out in the middle of the ocean.
This was actually later troops that were sent to clean up the radiation from the islands. And when they got sent there, they basically didn't have any sort of protective gear, and the government just said it was safe to clean up barehanded, essentially.
They were walking around picking up plutonium and uranium with their bare hands, putting it in buckets.
Oh my God. That's just, no. You might as well just go ahead and bring in, if you're in Iraq during the early stages of the invasion, man, you might as well just go through and start licking freaking DU freaking holes out of the freaking tanks and shit that we blew the fuck up.
Oh, shit. Man, just breathing the dust during the fucking sandstorms is almost as bad.
Right. Why, hello, cancer. But hey, guess what? You too can get a monetary compensation here in about another 10 years from it.
Right? If we're alive.
Air from the burn pits.
Two guys that I served with have died because in a matter of 3 weeks, they went from having a small node with cancer one lymph node with cancer. In
Yep.
2 weeks, every lymph node in their body was affected and they died.
Oh, once it's a lymph node, you're really
Yeah,
really
it just fast tracks on through.
Yeah, and there's no way that guys in their 20s and 30s that should be happening to.
No, absolutely not.
Definitely not.
I mean, it's stuff like that. It's horrible. I mean, it really is just to see the effects that it does. You know,
Yeah, if you want to hear,
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, you take a look at the effects that it has on these guys. I mean, it really brings in the shock. I mean, you take a look at what happened to a lot of our people that were working in the shipyards and stuff back, during the 40s and 50s. World War II, Korea. All the stuff that they were exposed to. That nowadays would be like, ain't no way in hell I'm going near that. But back then,
not
they
just
didn't
the 40s
care,
and 50s. It's all the way through the 70s.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
I don't think they cared back then because they didn't know, and then the government sure as fuck wasn't going to tell them.
Hell no, they weren't going to say anything. You're like,
they had to
yep.
pay for protective gear, and they didn't want to do that.
Yep. All saving that taxpayer dollar. Which now is now it's completely the opposite. How much more can we spend? Freaking spend that shit like freaking Jay-Z in a fucking strip club without Beyonce.
Damn.
I mean, I'm just saying.
There's like 9 guys that disappeared in quote-unquote sailing accidents during the cleanup.
In sailing, quote-unquote, accidents.
Yes, the government swears they went out boating or sailing or fishing, and these people just disappeared. No, you know fucking what happened.
Yeah.
They got sicker than dog shit and died.
And they got kicked off the boat.
Yep.
They pulled a Bin Laden with them. Sorry, that's my phone going off. Forgot to turn the ringer down.
So, all right. Embarrassing story. So, I told this one a long time ago. I don't know if I've told it on Daycare yet. I was new to Germany. And when you get to Germany, you get those classes on how to speak German, but they only give you the basics to get by.
Yeah, like barely enough to even freaking order a beer.
Yep. Because half the class is spent with people giggling about the number 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Just so you know, Mr. Nipples, it's sex.
Oh boy.
S-E-C-H-S.
Yeah. 6 is sex.
Sex.
And you get these troops, most often, believe it or not, the officers in the class, giggling their asses off.
Oh
yeah.
My God.
Which is hilarious because you're like, wait, aren't we supposed to be the immature ones, sir?
Right? I'm 19 and I'm not giggling. What the fuck's wrong with you? So,
oh man,
I get assigned a German family to go to for Christmas.
Okay.
Why not? And I bought a bottle of water, or not water, bottle of wine at the Class 6, not knowing that German wine's better because I'd been in country for just a few weeks. And I walk up their door and I knock on the door and I said, "Da, das Gift ist für du." And she slammed the door in my face.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mr. Nipples, do you know what the word gift means in German?
I do not.
Poison.
Oh, nice.
I said, this poison is for you.
Damn.
They said that in America. Freaking, they'd be like, all right, freaking, what did you bring?
Right?
Give me that bottle, I'll knock it back.
Poison, what is it? Moonshine? Hell yeah.
Something.
Well,
so I actually got an embarrassing story now. I thought it's not about me, it's about one of the boys in the Pensacola.
Real quick. Later on, their granddaughter showed me her foot.
Okay.
I'm not talking foot as in American English foot. Talking foot as in the way Germans say foot.
What the fuck's a German foot?
Whoa! Whoa! Oh.
Is it her camel's foot?
Yes.
Oh.
I was gonna say, were you sitting there screaming at Schliebedish at the end of the night? I mean, what the...
Oh,
my Yeah, meine Schatzi, meine Schatzi.
Oh, yeah.
Caroline. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good day.
She wasn't 17, was she?
No.
Oh no.
It's legal age of consent. I was fine. She told me she was 19. It wasn't until I talked to her dad at the PX. Her dad that worked at the PX later, I found out she was 17. He goes, don't worry about it.
God.
Oh man.
I actually went on to marry her.
I can't even count how many times I've seen that shit. And what's bad is that these guys were idiots and would bring these 17-year-olds from the bar, and somehow, some way, they would get them checked in at the front gate and take them to the fucking barracks, knock boots, and then send them on their fucking way. And then keep bringing them back later on. I'm like, are you a dumb motherfucker or what? It's like, are you trying to get hemmed up?
I had a lot of fun over there, slept with a lot of ass. But I ended up marrying that chick.
Wow. Well then, yeah. Good job, sir. Good job.
She was just crazy enough, the crazy factor, you know what I'm talking about.
Nate, you're muffled. Unmuffle.
Oh.
Sounds like the phone's between your ass cheeks.
Better?
There we go.
There you go.
All right, yeah, but...
So you weren't trying to motorboat said lady at that point in time, were you?
Sounded like it.
Yeah, I know, right? I was going to say, picture didn't happen, asshole. I mean, I'm just...
But yeah, she ended up cheating on me when I was downrange, and that was the end of that, so...
Yep, that's how the story goes. I was going to say, you didn't wind up buying a freaking brand new Ford Mustang at the time either, did you?
Nope.
Go to the friggin' AP's friggin' car dealership, buy a brand new Ford Mustang at friggin' 25% interest, and use your damn max out your Star card for your down payment.
No, I used the bus and the train everywhere over there, man. I fucking knew how to work that system.
Smart man. You know, I that's the only reason why I had a hoopty over there, man, was just to get to and from work. Or when I say work, I'm talking motor pool more than anything. You know, that's pretty much it. Other than that,
more or less. The weekend pass over there, man. That's the fucking way to go.
Oh yeah, hands down.
They got rid of that.
Really?
Yep. Just
how
so
long
you know,
ago
Mr. Nipples.
That shit?
2006, 2007.
Oh wow. Okay, so it was a couple years after I left then.
Yeah, they just so you know, Mr. Nipples, you used to be able to go into the Bahnhof, which is a train station, and buy this pass.
Yeah.
And this pass would be good anywhere in your state.
Damn.
And it would cover train, trolley, and bus.
Yes.
For like 60 Deutschmark.
Damn.
And then later on, like 60 euros.
60 Deutschmark was bullshit because they Yeah, which pissed me off when he did that switch from the freaking Deutschmark to the euro, dude, because that went from like everything being half of what you saw
to 1.75.
No, dude, it was like, really, you guys just fucking tripled what the freaking cost was. Yeah. You know, well, what used to cost me half, I now have to pay double in American. It's bullshit, man.
Yeah, when I left, it was $1.75 to euro. Now it's down to like $1.25.
So it was closer then. Yeah, because it was about, what was it? It was almost $2 to the euro when I left in 2004. I was just like, dude, I can't wait to get out of this shit.
Yeah, I was in Iraq then. Well, no, maybe I wasn't. Maybe I was already back in San Antonio. Hard to say. Depends what part of 2004.
Yeah, so I left Germany. What was it? End of June of 2004 was when I left, and came home on PCS leave, and then I checked in Fort Carson there, 1st of August.
Yeah, I was in San Antonio.
Gotcha.
Med board.
Oh, lovely.
Yep.
Freaking good old Sam Houston.
That's a good people. Was there just in time for hurricane season.
Right. Fair enough, good sir.
Mr. Nipples, you had an embarrassing story about the boys.
Yes. So here we were, downtown Pensacola at a club, So this is like two embarrassing stories wrapped into one.
Oh,
So
shit.
this female sailor takes us to a club, and we're like, oh, this is cool. You know, I've never been to this one. So we go in. This place is called Emerald City, I'll mind you. This is the first club I've ever been to. So I was pretty excited. You know, we got in there, got some drinks, having a good time. One of our boys decides to go out and dance with this girl, and it was fucking hilarious because this is his Mormon kid. He's pretty sheltered, and this girl starts twerking on him, and she has quite the ass on her. First of all, she starts twerking on this kid, and he did not know what the fuck to do. He was pinned against the wall, basically getting twerked on, and it looked like he was hanging on for dear fucking life. We were fucking cackling on the sides. We were standing at the side having a drink. We were fucking dying. This kid is gripping the walls, terrified. It was so funny. And then shortly after,
talk about stripper stories, man. I got one for you, but let me go ahead and get my. I guess it's a pseudo embarrassing story. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing for me because of what she.
Was it the smell?
I can't believe I did that shit, man. I mean, okay. So you guys are familiar with the Grenadier game, right? Or at least have an idea for it. So, okay, you and your boys are getting ready to go out to the bar that night.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there in the barracks or wherever, and everyone goes ahead and draws straws to find out who's going to be the designated quote-unquote Grenadier.
Yep.
Well, Grenadier is the one that has to take one for the team that night. So I wind up drawing the short straw this particular night. Ooh. And if you've been to Graph, like you say you have there, Nick, you are familiar with the establishment Ed's right out the main gate.
Oh yeah.
Yes. This story takes place in Ed's, if that tells you anything.
Okay.
So bunch of us are down there at Ed's, you know, it's like half my fucking platoon were down there as we were like almost every Friday night. And I wind up drawing short straw. Well, the way I'm sitting there tossing back, we're having a good time. And my buddy Pip was a DJ at the time. Short little black guy, freaking tiny little fucker from down Louisiana. Great dude though. Freaking love that man to death. But anyhow, so he was DJing, and I see this one gal, and I walk up to her, and she's freaking fine, German chick, and I'm sitting there talking to her, trying to get my game on and everything else. Well, I see my buddy Tony, freaking by Alice, and he's over at the bar, and he's got this other gal, freaking, and she was, and she's trying to make every single move that she can make on me. He's just not biting at all. He's just like do whatever he can to try and ignore her, get away, and everything else. And she just keeps chatting him up. And I'm just like, oh, please, dear God, do not do it. Sure as shit, he grabs his drink, comes walking over, and as he passes me, he passes me, he looks at me, he goes, by the way, grenade. Fuck you, son of a bitch! And we were like not even a half hour away from closing. And I'm like, get ready to seal the deal with this freaking 10. And he freaking throws me on a freaking 1. I'm just like, oh, you motherfucker. I hate you so much right now. So I wind up sliding right into place and everything else and start chatting her up. And yeah, I'm so glad I had a lot to drink that night because there was no drinking nothing pretty at all.
Damn.
Okay, so now we go. That's part 1. Part 2, the next morning. So we're sitting there in the barracks the next morning. Well, the way our barracks are sitting, I admit she wound up staying the night. God damn it. I should have just gone there, but it all played out in the end. The stars had aligned magically for some reason by making this decision. So with the way our barracks rooms are set up is that you had a room and then you each shared a bathroom in between. So, and we called them suites. And so we're sitting there, and Tony was one of my suite mates. Okay. So he wasn't in my room. He was in the room on opposite side of the bathroom. And so we're over there hanging out, and this motherfucker, like 11:30 in 11:30 middle of the day, he's got a fucking porn playing on the fucking TV, and I'm sitting on I'm sitting on the couch, and freaking Morticia the heifer is sitting right next to me on the fucking couch right next to me, and in the middle of it, and he's got a fucking porn going, and he's sitting on the freaking floor in front of us. And what does she do? She freaking whips out my shit, starts going to town, right?
Oh no!
Freaking starts bobbing on the freaking knob, and I'm just like, I'm hungover. I have zero fucks to give at this point in time. I was like, all right, fine, whatever, do what you're gonna do. And Tony gets up in the middle of this freaking porn that's playing on the TV. He gets up and he's like, I gotta go to the bathroom, oblivious to what the fuck is going on behind him. Goes to the bathroom, and I found the light bulb just magically fucking comes on for some reason. I look at her, I tap her on the shoulder. I'm like, hey. And she's like still trying to go. I'm like, freaking popping suction on her and shit. I'm like, hey, stop. And she's like, what? I'm like, hey, you ever had a three-way before? She goes, well, no. I was like, you want to? And she's just like, really? I was like, yeah. She's like, with who? I kind of nodded towards the bathroom door, and she goes, with your friend? I said, yeah, why not? And she's just like, okay, but how's it all going to start? I was like, I tell you what, here's what's going to happen. As soon as he comes walking out that door, you walk over there, slam him up against the door, and just start making out with him. Pin him up against the door, start making out with him. That's going to kick the whole thing off.
Oh, no.
And she looks me up freaking all like eyes wide like silver dollars. And she's like, okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. I'm like, okay. So, no shit. Like 5 minutes later, he comes out. I know he was freaking fapping away in that fucking bathroom after watching the porn. I mean, there's no denying it.
Oh, man.
He comes out like half sweaty and everything else, and she literally stood up off the couch and freaking walks up, grabs a hold of him like a freaking mugger, but freaking like claps his fucking shirts in her fist and slams him up against the wall.
Oh my god!
Straight up lip locks this fucker, like full on. Like I swear to God, like if her tongue could have gone any farther down his throat, it'd come straight out his asshole. I mean, that's how far she was going at it. So as soon as this happens, opportunity arises, and Jessica goes bailing out the fucking window. Fucking totally like the ultimate Blue Falcon move. Here's the shitty thing about it. His room is on the second floor. I bail out the fucking window and land on a fucking car down below.
Oh my god.
Busted my ankle and shit. I was just like, oh, fuck me. You want to talk about the ultimate Blue Falcon move to top that off? 6 months later, those two were married.
Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
And it's funny because I walk up to him at the reception. I fucking walk up to him. I say, hey, by the way, congratulations, brother. And I shook his hand. He's like, thanks, man. I said, oh, and by the way, remember how your guys' first kiss took place? He was like, yeah. I said, how my dick taste, by the way? You motherfucker!
Oh, my
God. Oh, dude, he was so fucking mad. Oh, dude, but I was like, yeah, joke's on me. Joke's on you. Nope, joke's on me. I got the fucking broken ankle, but you got the heifer fucking wife, so I'm safe. Jeez. Oh, my God. Yeah, dude, that was rough. Brutal.
That's rough, man.
It was, but you know what? I didn't have to live with it. So, it's a beautiful thing. Just saying. Shenanigans, I tell you, shenanigans. Don't ever try to outsmart the fucking grenadier. I'm just saying, words of wisdom, folks, because it will bite you in the end.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And then you got that motherfucker that you line up a three-way with two, oh my God, German chicks. And he comes out and goes, dude, we have to go to the field in the morning. You can't go.
Oh, no! Oh, no. That's horrible. Talk about German chicks, too. This is going to sound really bad. I swear to God, it's like we're just bashing on freaking Germany tonight. It's the way it goes sometimes, folks. Sorry. But, no, we're... There's a reason we've been in twice back-to-back world wars and their women love us. Just saying. Anyhow, so I'm sitting there on CQ one night, and my buddy Tony, and my buddy Frank, this dude, different Tony Marcus, not Tony Biolis, but Tony Marcus, And I'm sitting around CQ one night, and this dude, he had a bad habit of picking up some of the weirdest fucking women, I swear to God. And this guy comes in one night, it's like 2:30, almost 3 o'clock in the morning. Bars are all closing and shit. I got CQ on a Saturday night. And he comes in, I'm sitting there, friggin' CQ at the front desk, there at the front door and shit, friggin' doing my thing. I just get back from doing my rounds. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, freaking the front door of the barracks opens up, and I see my buddy Tony come walking backwards. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Marcus? He's just like, he looks at me, he's just like, oh, I'm good, dude. I'm good, bro. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Next thing you know, he's pulling this chick up in a fucking wheelchair.
Oh, my God.
Chick, I'm like, what? We don't have elevators in the barracks, and his room's up on the second floor.
Oh, my God.
He's fucking halfway fucking blitzed. I'm like, oh, this isn't going to end well. He fucking backpedals this bitch all the way up the fucking stairs, down to his room and everything else. I'm like, oh, all right. I'm fairly impressed. And he's sitting there, he looks at me, fucking smiles, waves, and he comes 2 hours later. He fucking comes back down the stairs. All you hear is tukum, tukum. The fucking wheelchair, the axle fucking tapping every time he fucking skips a step. And I'm just like, oh no, he did not. And Les is what was arguing. There are like 3 steps after you get out the door to the fucking street. And what does he do? He straight up fucking Sparta kicked this bitch right out the fucking door. And he goes, take it back off up the stairs. He looks at me, fucking stops, thumbs up, waves. I'm like, you asshole. God, fucking straight up the stairs of the room. I'm like, Jesus, fuck. I poke my head out the door, and she's fucking like trying to fucking pull herself back up into her wheelchair. I'm like, bro, that was fucked up. It was like watching Helen Keller fucking struggle with a fucking flashbang, man. I mean, it just didn't fucking work. I was like, oh, you poor soul. Fucking, I feel bad for her. I help her back into her wheelchair, and then I fucking kick her down the street, tell her to
get now, Helen Keller was immune to flashbangs.
Yes, she was. But it's just that. Just that struggle with it to get it going. Bam! I know, I'm going to hell tonight for this show, dude. Oh,
you know what the hardest part about eating a vegetable is, right?
The wheelchair.
Yeah, I was going to say the wheelchair. Or when their heartbeat goes up on the fucking monitor and the nurses come rushing in. I mean, I've never done that one before. What? I mean,
the hardest part about eating the wheelchair is me.
Oh, this show just took a crazy fucking turn tonight.
It always does.
We've had some crazy shit on this show, man.
Hey, you know what? I'm all right with that. Fucking, I actually made about halfway through the VRS bar before jumping off from those guys and coming over here. All right. If I knew I was going to be hanging out with a fellow Germany guy and a fucking, robo-dick sucker, a.k.a. Navy, I would have cracked open this bottle of whiskey earlier and been waiting.
All right, so you were talking about the Mormon you served with, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, I got one for you. Brand new. I'm not going to use... We're just going to call him Q. Because he's an E7 now, and his troops don't need to know about this.
Go on.
So, he's been in Germany for all of 24 hours. A good Mormon boy that has never drank or had caffeine or danced or done anything else. So, I decide we're taking the train to Frankfurt.
Oh, boy. Here we go. I see where this is going already.
But first, I get him the newbie shot. Now, I don't know if you ever made it to the New Yorker in Gießen.
Yep.
The newbie shot is made with Stro 80.
Yeah.
And what's his name? He used to make this moonshine that he mixed with it. I don't remember. Do you remember the guy's name, the big black guy?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I can see his face, but I can't remember his name.
And he made this
Which is kind of hard in a fucking dark bar, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. But he made this moonshine in the back under German law. It's all right. And Stro 80, a little bit of Everclear, and then some grenadine for flavor. And it's in one of those, 4-ounce boot shot glasses.
Yup.
So I get him down it. And he's like, well, that was too bad. And I'm like, just give it 15 minutes. But I'm not telling him that.
Right.
So we walk down to the Bahnhof. It's a good 15-minute walk. By the time we get there, he's stumbling pretty bad. I get him on the train. He's sober by the time I get him to Frankfurt. So I get him a couple more shots. And I take him to this facility. And we go up all the way to the top floor.
I think I can guess what kind of facility this is.
Did it have a big pink heart on the end of the alleyway when you first go in there?
And an ATM in the entrance.
Yep. Called it.
And, let's just say the grade of beef goes down as you go up. And I took him to the 5th floor.
Ooh.
And there was a door we took all the new guys to if we could. Especially the virgins.
Oh,
and you
no.
go down the hall, take a left, and then a right. Her door's right there. You knock on the door 3 times, and she opens it. She's about 6'2" and probably about 450 pounds.
God damn.
And I go, here's your day for the night. He goes, and I slipped her, I think it was 40 euros. And she just kind of grabbed him and hauled him in. 20 minutes later, he found me downstairs, told me he hates me.
He said he hated you, but he really loved you. That's all there is to it. Anybody that's actually been to Germany and actually had, experienced that, whether you were a partaker or a purchaser for somebody else, that it was one of 2 ways. Either they really loved you and said that they hated you, or they really hated you. That's just how it goes.
I can tell you without a doubt from experience, this woman could suck a golf ball through a garden hose. All right.
Awesome.
You can't hate somebody that takes you somebody with that much skill.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You'd never want a better, but goddamn. So, anyhow, I get him drunk as shit. We ended up spending about 200 euros on liquor after we both had another round there. And I got him back on the Bahn, and we're on our way back to town. Now, I gotta tell you, because I've said it on the air before, but I'm guessing you haven't listened to a lot of our shows. There was this guy by the name of Stein. He had left the unit, and whoever took his picture for his ID took a really bad blurry photo. So we kept it around for emergencies.
Okay.
Well, Q puked all over the train.
Oh, no.
And the Polizei wanted to have his ID to write his ticket.
Right.
So I gave him Stein's ID.
Oh, my God.
They wrote the ticket out to Stein, and it was going to go to the blotter. And, of course, Stein can't get in trouble because Stein was already discharged.
Oh, my God. That's either incredibly genius or incredibly Blue Falconish. That could be one way or the other.
Stein got summarily discharged for... He turned himself in for trying to commit suicide because he was drinking too much.
Huh.
He actually drank himself to the point that he got hospitalized like 9 or 10 times for alcohol poisoning.
Woo!
And they put him out on a, psychological.
I've only been to that point one time. One time have I ever gotten to the point where I was so freaking trashed I wound up having to go to the hospital. And I will never, ever, ever do that again because that was the worst hangover I have ever had in my life. When you wake up fucking 3 days later and you're still just like, what the fuck? Why?
I've been to the hospital because I was in withdrawal from alcohol several times.
Yeah, they'll do it.
Yeah. So that was fun. But yeah, that's a good story for you. Yeah. But Friday, that's just so anybody listening. We kick off at what time on Friday?
All right, so Friday Night Debauchery kicks off at 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, and I usually have a set playlist that usually is supposed to take about 2 hours, but here lately they've been running about 2.5, maybe 3, but that's because on Friday nights I'm usually drinking a copious amount of whiskey and lose all track of time. Like, fuck it, we're just going to keep on rolling. So that's usually how that shit goes, but it's a good time, so... we do,
I'm looking forward
to it. We play a lot of rock. We, swap some stories back and forth a little bit, take a lot of shots, and bullshit a lot with our listeners and stuff, too, because that's the one thing that's cool about with all our programming is that we do everything live, whether it's on the Spreaker side or via Facebook, like with BB Nation Radio. So that way we can actually, as we're doing the show, we can actually interact with our listeners, respond to comments and stuff like that. And they eat that stuff up, man, and it helps. It really does. And it makes
we're live and good.
I was going to say, it just makes it that much more of a fun show. It really does. So, but that's how we do our stuff. But yeah, so Friday night, it's a good time. Like I said, we do rock, we do drinks, we do bullshit. We do our weekly safety brief because, hey, those of us who spend time in the military all know you can't go home on a Friday until you do your fucking safety brief. So
we actually we close up every episode with one. So.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Well, more or less awareness, but yeah.
Right. Well, as long as I'm not having to put on a fucking PT belt, we're good.
They're mandatory.
Fuck that. I'm out. No.
We might as well
play that.
We might as well wrap up here, and
okay.
I'll be talking to you on Friday then.
Yes,
Just
sir.
give me like a 15-minute heads up so I can, make sure I'm clear.
Gotcha.
All right, everybody. As always, checking in your ugly friends, or lonely ones. They're not always ugly. The guy that's usually laughing. A lot of times, he's the guy that's in trouble. It's easy to hide the pain before, So, check in somebody you served with. We lose too many friends, too many brothers. The number of gold stars going up on the wall is increasing daily, and it's getting scary, man. We're losing too many brothers every year, and if we can, we do better checking in on each other, like you guys did to me when I came out about the problems, with my wife getting close to. Yeah, this is not a battle she's going to win. So, but when I came out and told you all about it, you guys, the amount of outreach that we had, you guys checking in on me, making sure I'm okay. If we could do that with each other more often, we'd have a lot less losses to suicide. And that's all I'm asking you for, is to have compassion. Check on just one random, So, don't drink drive. Don't do anything stupid. And, make sure that you fuck over the grenadier when you get a chance.
You might end up with a wife.
Yeah, exactly, right?
The guy that fucks you over might end up with a wife.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. That's very true.
So, and apparently, according to one of my NCOs, one of the best pickup lines ever is, have you ever seen a 1-inch dick? Do you want to? He ended up married off that line.
Nice.
It's a bold
my favorite one to use is, so have you ever had your belly button licked? How about from the inside? That has actually worked a couple times, believe it or not.
You got to break out the classic, hey, baby, ever had your ass licked by a fat man in an overcoat?
And you know what you do if a girl ever farts where you go down on her, right? You pop a finger there and go, shh, don't worry, you're next.
It's you're next, little guy.
Yeah, but, if you ever need to reach out to anybody, let's see here. There's us here, guys over at Backwoods. They're always willing to take messages if you need, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Drinking Bros, they're run by DV. They're good guys over there. A lot of guys over there willing to talk. They got an entire page for it. There's also Mission Zero Actual out of Florida. Belen is an amazing guy. He's fighting for us. He's taking it to Congress. So
Very nice.
Yeah. We'll talk to y'all. Y'all have a good one.
You as well. Thanks for having me on. We'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you. Yep.
All right.
Nope.
Bye.
Have a good night.